Hey guys, ThunderBow here, and today I'm bringing you another awesome 0.14 beta build video. So today's video is going to be on builds 1 and 2, and it's all gameplay, no more of that changelog slideshow stuff. This is actual gameplay from the actual beta. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this video, but actually, I lied. Before I begin this video, can I just ask if you guys could punch that like button right in the face? You guys have been killing it with support lately, so let's keep it up. You guys are destroying the like button every single time I upload, and my channel has fully come back. It's back in full force, and I want you guys to support it as much as possible. So, if you guys want to see more beta videos, like I said, just thumb that video up and show your love for this channel. So, now, without further ado, let's take a look at some of the 0.14 beta features. So over here I'm going to be starting out with the redstone, so this entire side of my little setup is all redstone features, and over here we have the redstone repeater and the comparator, and basically the repeater continues a redstone signal and the comparator outputs a third signal based on the input from two other signals, and basically they're both extremely useful when creating redstone contraptions such as TNT cannons. Over here we have the hopper, which is yet another new feature, and basically they're just super useful for helping to sort out chests. So over here I have this chest. It is obviously empty, and in this hopper I filled it up with 64 diamonds. Basically, you flick this switch, the hopper starts to drain, and all of the items get put inside the chest. And it's super useful for stuff like mob cookers and sorting chests and whatnot, and they just have a ton of use for organization. Now over here we have two very similar but completely different redstone features. This first one over here is a dispenser, and the one to the right is a dropper. Now both of them dispense items, but the difference between a dropper and a dispenser is that if you put an item that's throwable, such as a snowball, or a splash potion, or a gassed fireball, inside of a dispenser, it will actually throw the item like the actual player was throwing the item. So I'm going to press this button, and boom, there goes the XP bottle, and it just gets sent flying to the other side of this little terrace that I built over here. So you just press that button. If I could just get this touchscreen to work properly, there we go, boom, throws the XP bottle like you, the player, were actually throwing the XP bottle. But if you use a dropper, it simply drops the item as if you were dropping it out of your hotbar. Just like that, the item is dispensed out of the dropper, and there's really no super important difference between the two. Both of them dispense regular items just fine. It's just one of them throws the items and the other one simply drops them. So that's the difference between the the dispenser and the dropper. Now over here we have the trapped chest, which was included in 0.13, but the important feature about trap chests to this update is that they allow for double trap chests. So you could have a chest set up just like I have right now, and I'm going to demonstrate the trap chest, and basically what they do is they output a redstone signal when they are opened. So I have this little contraption set up to basically take the redstone signal and divert it to a little pile of TNT and then this redstone lamp. And we're just going to open up real fast and close it out, and you saw that light, that thing light up, and basically TNT just lights up too, and boom, there we go, massive explosion and destruction. So they're super useful for creating traps to fool your friends or enemies in a Pocket Edition server, and they're just a ton of fun to just play around with, as is TNT, because let's face it, who doesn't love to blow people up with surprise traps. So over here, we're getting into some of the new blocks. So red sand was a new feature in the 0.10 update, but now it's getting a little bit of an upgrade, because we can now craft or find red sandstone, which red sandstone can then be used to create things such as the carved red sandstone, the smooth red sandstone, and then the stairs and slab equivalent for red sandstone. And what's unique about the red sandstone carved form is how it has a depiction of a wither, which is different from the typical sandstone, which has a creeper face carved into it. So that's a slightly subtle but really cool looking difference between the two. Now over here is by far my favorite brand new block, and it is the slime block, or as I like to call it, the trampoline. So what's really awesome about slime blocks is how you can fall down on them and then get launched way back up. And I'm going to demonstrate that with this ring that I built. Basically, fly up really high, and this ring is just going to allow me to center myself as I fall. But basically, we just pass ourselves through the hole, and kablamo! Fly all the way back up. It's just so much fun, and this is really useful in awesome parkour maps. I've seen people do it on PC, and I can't wait to try out some parkour maps that involve slime blocks. And I also have some pretty cool ideas for slime blocks myself, so I would like to make my own parkour map. So over here is a rather buggy feature, but it is the item frame, and basically you could take the item frame and place it down, and yeah, I tried placing the item frame, but it simply doesn't work very well, and whoops, I just showed off the next feature, which happened to disappear unfortunately as well. But nonetheless, item frames basically allow you to showcase any particular item. It can be a sword, it could be a mob egg, it could be a potion, it could be even another item frame. So I just had some little item frameception right here. Basically place an item frame inside an item frame, and they're just super useful for showing off your most valued possessions. And over here I was supposed to have a map display, but basically you can put the map inside an item frame and create a huge wall of maps, and it just looks super awesome for displaying all the areas that you've explored. Basically, you can hold the map and you can run around, figure out where you are and whatnot. It's super useful for world navigation. Next new block is the Cauldron, and it is super useful now. It used to just basically serve no purpose because it was only for aesthetics and really wasn't practical, but now you can use the Cauldron to dye leather armor. So basically what you do is you fill it up with a bucket of water, and then you can take a dye of your choosing. I'm going to take some red because the water is kind of blue, and basically you could dye it and it changes shade. So I actually previously already dyed the water, which is why it was slightly blue, and now it turns purple. It was supposed to turn red. Basically you can put whatever dyes you want inside the Cauldron, make a whole bunch of different color combinations, and it's just super cool and useful for making the shades of armor that you want. So you could basically negate any color by just putting a ton of it, and there we go, fully red water, usable for dyeing leather armor. So over here again was supposed to be the map, but unfortunately the map broke, so yeah, whatever. I'm not going to show off the map, I already showed it, but whatever. And over here we have the first of many brand new mobs. So over here we have the Witch in all her glory. And basically witches now spawn in 0.14 along with witch huts, and they are super difficult to fight, particularly because when you fight them, they drink potions to restore their health, and basically really difficult to fight. Especially since not only do they drink potions to bolster their defenses, but they also throw splash potions of weakness and poison at you in order to slow you down and basically hinder your ability to fight them. But basically when you kill them, they will drop either instant potions of healing or bits and pieces of redstone and some sticks. So I'm just going to spawn another one so I could demonstrate the throwing of, there we go, and it just dropped a instant potion of healing, and that's one of their rarer drops, so fighting witches is definitely useful for collecting somewhat valuable potion resources. So I did mention that there were other brand new mobs added to 0.14, and these all have to do with baby zombies. So according to the tweak on the changelog, baby zombies now have a 15% chance to want to be a jockey. If they want to be a jockey, then upon getting near a player, they will look for one of the following mobs to ride before attacking the player. And they include adult wolves, ocelots, cows, pigs, sheep, adult chickens, spiders, or adult zombies. And basically, the baby zombie will become a jockey in order to increase its attack speed and overall health, making them a lot harder to fight. So I really like that feature. It just basically brings a whole level of challenge or new challenges to Pocket Edition. It's definitely something that I appreciate the developers doing, because a game is not fun if it doesn't have a challenge. But nonetheless, baby zombies can now hop on top of other mobs to become jockeys, thus making them a lot harder to fight. So, that's it for new features. In terms of tweaks in Build 1, pumpkin hats and mob heads can now be worn on the player's head. So if I hop over into third-person view, you guys can see my new creeper head. I basically just took the creeper mob head and equipped it to my player, so you can just run around and use these as like an aesthetic feature. But although you do wear them like a helmet, they do not provide additional durability or like damage resistance. It's simply an aesthetic feature for your character, kind of like a little decoration. So they really don't serve much of a purpose aside from that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for pumpkin hats and mob head hats. The developers also cleaned up a bunch of textures. They replaced the Pocket Edition start screen with a brand new user interface, which we'll go and take a look at right now. So you guys can see the start screen user interface is a lot cleaner than it was in 0.13. The icons are a lot more square. They have like more of an HD texture. The icons are like a little bit more defined. Things are more spaced out, and it just looks a lot cleaner than it normally would. Additionally, the developers made Ghast Eyes, Blazes, and Magma Cube cores a lot brighter. So I'm just going to spawn up a bunch of Magma Cubes, and you guys can see what it's like when they jump around, how their core is now a bright glowing orange. And if it were nighttime, then this core would really glow, and it would look kind of sort of like the spider eyes that glow in the dark. So there's like ruby red dark eyes, and they're just super creepy and super scary looking. And basically, if you were to encounter one of these in the somewhat dimly lit nether, it would be pretty creepy to look at. And nonetheless, I mean, I'd be pretty freaked out if I saw a jumping blob heading my way that also happens to be on fire. So I mean, it's justified, guys. It's justified. But nonetheless, Magma Cube cores now glow, as well as blazes and ghasts. They also fixed a build issue with iOS and Android, which I can't really demonstrate because, well, it's not 0.13 and I can't really demonstrate that on the beta. But nonetheless, they did fix an issue with building worlds in 0.13. They also fixed door textures at last, and they also improved slime spawning. And there were also a whole slew of bug fixes for 0.14 Build 1, which, if you guys want to read, the changelog will be in the description. So, as for Build 2, I am not on Build 2, obviously, but shortly after Build 1 was released, Build 2 came out with only 3 new tweaks and a whole bunch of bug fixes. Those tweaks include destroying particles for item frames, which, for some reason, the item frame that wasn't there previously just appeared, but nonetheless, this is the item frame in case you guys missed it earlier. And when you destroy an item frame in Beta Build 2, it will have like destruction particles. I just destroyed the item frame and it didn't do anything. So that was a tweak that was added to 0.14 Beta Build 2. Additionally, zombies now drop a head when killed by charged creepers, so you now have a legitimate way of obtaining zombie mob heads, so that's a pretty cool feature. And they also move the drag progress bar from under your finger inside droppers, hoppers, and dispensers. Basically, inside the dispenser or hopper, when you go to remove an item, the drag bar is noticeably underneath your fingers, so you can't really see what you're doing, and that was kind of annoying, and I'd classify that more as a bug, not a tweak, but nonetheless, they did fix that in 0.14 Build 2. And speaking of bug fixes, there was a whole slew of bug fixes as well, easily 15 or 20, and because I don't have Build 2, I can't demonstrate those bugs being fixed, but if there were bugs that you experienced in Build 1, they're likely fixed in Build 2, And again, with the changelog, if you want to read about the bug fixes for yourself, the link will be in the description. Now, for those of you who are probably going to be commenting below, dude, it's build 2, download it already, my answer to that is I simply can't. So the only device that I have that can run Pocket Edition well, that's Android, is a Kindle Fire, which, if you guys don't know, is uneligible to download the Google Play Beta, particularly because it's made by Amazon, and Amazon and Google are like rival companies and whatnot. Not something I can control, but basically, even though it runs on an Android-based operating system, I cannot legitimately download the beta, and I therefore have to rely on external sources to get it. So the place that I got it from was from one of my Twitter followers, whose username is going to be classified simply because I do not support piracy and I do not want to spread it. The only reason why I downloaded the beta, quote, illegally, is to make these videos for you guys. In order for me to get the build videos out, I need to download the build from someone else externally, and thus the videos will be much later than they normally would be. That was all of Build 1 and Build 2. If you guys enjoyed this gameplay video, be sure to punch that like button right in the face. Let's go for 50 likes. Again, you guys have been killing it with support lately, and I love it. You guys are literally just showing your support for everything that I do lately, and it just brings back the memories of when my channel was super active. So I want to keep it up, keep the streak going, keep the channel alive, punch that like button. Anyway, subscribe for more videos, such as 0.14 beta videos. Anyway, that about wraps it up for this video, so thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, again, punch that like button, subscribe for more videos, stay charged everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.